Imagine a system that never gets tired, never gets angry, never plays favorites, a system that can process more information in 1 second than a team of human officials could review in a year. Now imagine handing that system the power to govern your life. Sounds efficient, right? Maybe even better than what we have now, but there's a catch. A catch so old it was written down decades before anyone had even heard the term artificial intelligence. And once you hear it, you'll never look at this question the same way again. Today we're tackling a question that sounds like science fiction, but isn't. As AI systems get better at making decisions, faster, more consistent, arguably more logical than us, a real debate has opened up. If a machine can make better decisions than a human, should it be allowed to? Not just in business, not just in your inbox, in government, in the rules that shape how we live. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the smartest people in tech don't think the answer is yes, and what the real answer actually looks like. Let's go back in time. Not to some recent AI conference, all the way back to 1979. That year, IBM put out an internal training manual for employees. Buried inside it was a single sentence that decades later reads like a warning shot aimed straight at today's headlines. It said this: a computer can never be held accountable, and therefore a computer must never make a management decision. Think about how early that was. No smartphones, no internet as we know it, and yet IBM had already spotted the one flaw that no amount of future technology would ever fix. It's not about intelligence, it's about ownership. Who answers for the outcome? Here's where things get interesting. We tend to assume that better decision means the same thing as more accurate or more efficient. But governing people isn't a math problem. It's a balancing act between values that often contradict each other: fairness versus efficiency, individual freedom versus collective safety, short-term relief versus long-term stability. An algorithm can absolutely calculate the most statistically optimal outcome. What it can't do is feel the weight of choosing between two outcomes that are both painful in different ways. That weight, that discomfort is actually part of what keeps leadership honest. Remove it and you don't get a purer form of justice, you get a colder one. Now, most people don't realize this part. When we say an AI system is logical, what we really mean is that it's optimizing for whatever goal it was given. That's it. Logic isn't some neutral, all-knowing force. It's only as good as the target someone pointed it at. Tell a system to maximize economic growth, and it might recommend policies that quietly damage communities because nobody told it that community mattered in the first place. And fair, that word is doing a lot of heavy lifting too. Fairness is a value judgment. It's not something you calculate, it's something you decide. And AI systems built on historical data tend to inherit the very biases buried inside that data, often without any awareness that something's wrong. Here's the truly dangerous part. A biased human might at least suspect they're being unfair. A biased algorithm tells you with total confidence that it's being completely objective. That false certainty is far more dangerous than open disagreement. So let's play this out. Say an AI-driven system makes a major governing decision and it goes badly. Maybe a resource allocation model leaves an entire region without enough hospital beds during an emergency. What happens next? You can't vote a machine out of office. You can't put it on trial. You can't ask it to step down and explain itself to the public. You can shut it down, retrain it, patch it. But none of that gives people what they actually need after harm has been done. Someone who is answerable, someone who has to look people in the eye and explain what happened. This is the exact gap IBM flagged back in 1979. And here's the surprising part. Almost 50 years of technological progress later, nobody has solved it. Every modern framework for AI accountability eventually traces responsibility back to a human being, a developer, an agency, an official who approved the rollout. That's not machine accountability, that's human accountability for a machine's mistakes, which, if you think about it, is the only kind of accountability that's ever actually existed. So if AI shouldn't govern us outright, Where does it actually belong in this picture? This is where the conversation gets genuinely useful because AI is extraordinarily good at certain things. It can spot patterns across massive data sets that would take human teams months to uncover. It can run thousands of policy simulations before a single decision is ever implemented. It can flag inconsistencies in how rules are applied, sometimes catching human bias in the act. What it consistently struggles with is the final call. The moment where someone has to weigh values that can't be reduced to a number and then publicly stand behind that choice. That moment needs a human name attached to it. Always. So the smartest path forward isn't AI versus humans. It's AI as the most powerful research assistant a government has ever had, paired with humans who still hold the pen on the final decision. Here's the takeaway. AI doesn't need to outsmart us to be valuable in how we're governed. It needs to be honest about its limits, and we need to be honest about what we still owe each other when something goes wrong, an explanation, a name, a person willing to be held responsible. That sentence from 1979 was never really about computers. It was about us, about what we're willing to hand over and what we should never give away no matter how impressive the technology looks. If this video made you think differently about where AI is headed, hit like. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this one, where we cut through the hype and get to what actually matters. Drop a comment and tell me, would you trust an AI system to make a major decision about your life? I want to hear your take. And if you want to go deeper into AA technology and the future we're all walking into, the link to more content is in the description. I'll see you in the next one.